So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? What is affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Well, I could throw that right back at you. Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
Because you're affecting other people's rights. You're taking away people's choices. You are hurting people. Read the Constitution.
What rights am I taking away exactly?
You're trying to take away gender-affirming care for individuals. You are affecting abortion rights. You are hurting people.
Got it. So what is a woman?
What is a woman? It's what people identify as. It's a gender. Sex is different. Sex is different from gender.
So can anyone be a woman?
Yes.
At what point do you know you're looking at a woman?
Doesn't matter when you are looking at a woman. You don't have to look at a woman and immediately tell. Can you tell looking at a baby what gender they are without looking at their privates? Tell me that.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What about that baby is different?
But hold on. By the time they're 6 months old, you can actually tell a young boy tends to gravitate more towards balls and remotes.
That's because it's gender affirming. That is convincing individuals at a young age. You are socializing, putting them in situations where they want certain different things. Let's look at... So, let's say you were a little kid and your parents taught you to like pink. Let's actually look back in time. Pink actually used to be a male color instead of blue. In what world? Actually, in the 1920s.
So you say that I'm here to take people's rights away.
Yes!
That is your main contention.
Yes, because
right.
you are affecting the LGBT. You are affecting women's rights. If I was pregnant, oh, wait, let's go back to this. Abortion is anything. If I had a cyst on my uterus, that would be considered an abortion. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look at, okay, anything that is involving the uterus.
Well, no, in order for it to be an abortion, it must be a human life.
No. Anything that is
Yes.
involving the uterus and you have to get rid of it, it is considered abortion.
No, that's
Yes,
not how
it is.
that's not how it works. So again, you say I'm here to take rights away.
Yes.
Do you agree life is a right?
I feel like if it's a clump of cells, then it's not alive.
No, but let's go back. Do you think every human being has a right to life?
Depending on how many weeks, but let's
So wait, hold on. Who's trying to take rights away? I want to protect the rights of all human beings. You call them a clump of cells. Who's trying to take rights away exactly?
So when is it a human being in your mind? When is it a human being in your mind?
Well, it's not even on my mind. Human development objectively begins at conception.
At conception. So even if I had a miscarriage, what are you going to say about that?
It's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy?
Yes.
Okay, then let's talk about, like, what if it's affecting the woman or anybody who is pregnant in this situation? What if they're going to die and they have to get an abortion? That's the only way they're going to live. Are they going to be f***ed over?
Well, hold on. Just so we're clear, that's only a couple thousand cases a year.
No.
And so, yes, it is.
Have you seen how many individuals have already died because they haven't been able to get abortion care?
Abortion in the life of the mother can be put aside as something that needs to be considered. However, it's not always necessary. But let's talk about the main thing, because there's over 1.5 million abortions every single year that don't involve rape, incest, or life of the mother. 1.5 million.
Yes,
but let's just ask you a very simple question. When does human life begin?
When does human life, in my personal opinion, is going to start around the second trimester, a little more farther along. But let's get to this. Most individuals that are having abortions are going to be mothers that cannot afford it. They usually have already 2 to 3 kids and a lot of time.
So it's acceptable to be able to murder your young if all of a sudden you don't have the money to support them. That you can murder your offspring if you're poor.
So in the first couple weeks, even though it's still not fully developed, doesn't even have a heartbeat, doesn't even have brain
Development
activity.
does not equal dignity. A human being is a human being regardless of the process of development that it is in. Period. And so who's trying to take rights away? I actually want more human beings to be born.
Then why are you affecting LGBT?
Well, hold on. We're talking. Let me finish on abortion. I want more human lives, which, by the way, hilariously, would be more women would be born, because the right to life is paramount. You're trying to take rights away because you're okay with the massacring of little humans. Back to LGBT.
It's been going throughout history, though. Abortion has been a big thing for a long time, and it affects people,
So-
and it hurts people.
So as murder and slavery and child sacrifice, there's
That is
been
completely different.
no. It is murder.
Rhonda, Lauren down here from the Herald Sun again. Just another quick one about Angela's question on equality just before. We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment. Is it frustrating for you as someone who's so prominent in your sport? And we heard you say on the Ellen show the other day you are the richest fighter in UFC, that sort of thing is still going on?
I think that how much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in. I'm the highest paid fighter not because Dina and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice for the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that they bring in.
Okay, so you think you're a 10?
Yeah. I think I'm fucking gorgeous. I think I'm perfect.
Listen, don't take this the wrong way. You're not
Please
a 10.
lay it on me.
You're not a 10.
Okay. That's just your opinion.
I'm not going to rate you, but you're not a 10.
Okay, you don't have to rate me, and that's just your opinion.
Well, it is. Listen, look.
You don't like fat bitches?
Well, you took it there.
Wow! You could have just said no. That's okay. Not everybody does.
I don't like
listen,
fat
let me
bitches.
tell you something. Everyone has personal preference, and at the end of the day, overall, there is always going to be someone better or someone that has something more than what you have, and everyone is attracted to different people. So like I could say he's attractive, but I could say he's not attractive.
Right.
But someone else could find him attractive, and someone could find him ugly.
Sure.
So everyone's a 10.
But I
And
do
no one-
agree that not everyone here is a 10. Nobody here is a 10.
I don't think anyone here is a 10.
Exactly.
By the way, look at her eyelash. It got all fucked up. Wait, can you show it to the... Hold it up to the camera.
How do I show it? Do I show it like that? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all
Rip. Rest in peace,
Just like
Cynthia's
Oh, no,
eyelash.
you got it.
Okay, so the 10 thing. 10s have modeling contracts.
Okay.
Like,
Are you saying that that's not something that I could have?
I think there's a lot of plus size models too nowadays. Like everybody's.
I think Calvin Klein is hiring.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, but
Victoria's Secret.
that's like the clown world, like the fucking that whole
Delusional.
movement. But like, okay, I guess here's my issue with people rating themselves as a 10. If you gas yourself up to the point where you have an inaccurate self-assessment of your physical attractiveness, you are going to be trying to command a partner that, quite frankly, you are not going to be able to lock down for long-term commitment. If I think, well, men and women are different, so I can be delusional, but it's not really going to help. Women can still sleep with men, but those men will never commit to them. So,
Who says that I'm looking for commitment, though?
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like it's all.
do you want kids one day?
No.
Do you want to have a life partner one day?
Maybe.
Do you prefer having relationships, or do you prefer just having a constant rotation of men?
I prefer to be single, and sometimes that includes a rotation of men, and sometimes that includes just me.
Okay, well, to each their own. However, I would say most women, generally speaking, they want to have, most women want to have kids and want to have a family. Not all women, certainly. And even women who don't, though, if you have an inaccurate self-assessment of your physical attractiveness, you're going to think that you deserve a certain caliber of man that you might be able to sleep with, maybe, but he's just not going to commit to you. And you're going to look at men that are actually your looks equivalent, and you're going to think you're settling for them, when in reality, that's your equivalent. And you're going to treat those guys like shit. Or you're just not going to even fuck with them to begin with.
Right.
You're going to, and I think that's the big problem with modern dating. Women will confuse sexual interest for relationship interest, because women can very easily sleep with men that are of a higher either socioeconomic status or physical attractiveness. Those men might sleep with you, but they'll never commit to you. So women can sleep with like pretty attractive guys because those attractive guys welcome the easy access.
Okay, come on. There's nobody in the world that you would want.
I'm attracted to like someone, but he's like a celebrity figure. You know, like sex appeal. But there's no one I actually want.
Do you think you're on like the level of a celebrity?
Yeah.
You're not on the level of celebrity.
I think I am. I don't give a fuck. I think I am. I think I'm.
No, you're a pretty girl.
I think I'm an amazing person, if I'm being honest.
Celebrity's like top 10, 20% of beauty. Like that's
yeah, but remember, I think I'm beautiful. I think I'm beautiful without the Botox, without the money, without all that money to do myself up. So I think I'm great.
I just want to read you this poster that I have because I hear a lot of pro-lifers say that life begins at conception. So my poster reads, "Life begins when you understand living women matter more than potential babies."
What is it?
What do you mean?
If it's a potential baby, what is inside of a woman?
It's a fetus.
Is it living?
No.
How can it grow if it's not living?
Actually, that's like saying if an acorn is a tree.
When does the fetus become living?
That's actually a good question, but that line...
Yeah, of course, because you don't know it, because it's living. It's living. You're fundamentally denying science to validate your opinion.
You actively deny science, ma'am.
How am I denying? What science did I deny, Darby?
Okay, so let's look at some posters over here. But you don't have to be here.
I need you to tell me what science. You just made an accusation that I denied science. What science did I deny?
That it's a child inside of you. It is a clump of cells when...
I'm a clump of cells. What makes me different?
That you were born. You were born.
So you don't. What you're arguing is that anything that is not born is not valuable of life.
I did not say that.
It's subjective. So when does a child or fetus or clump of cells, whatever you want to call it, when does this clump of cells or fetus become living?
When it can sustain its own life.
But when is the sustainability? No, when is sustainability? Because how do you sustain life? Like, my newborns aren't sustainable. You can't just have a newborn and they just live on their own, right?
Right.
They're not sustainable. They need help and assistance to survive. So is a newborn not worthy of life? Is a newborn not worthy of life?
I do have one thing to say to you. How is it that when my mom was in college 30 years ago, she was protesting the exact same thing that me and these wonderful other women and men on this side have been protesting? How is it? Why? Why are we still protesting? Why are we still having to talk about this issue? It is a basic human right to have an abortion, to have a choice.
The reason we're still having the question is because some people don't want to accept the natural consequences of heterosexual sex be inconvenienced by another human life and want to selfishly choose to end human life in order to have their whims met.
As a Christian, Jesus himself said, if you lust after a woman, you have already committed adultery in your heart with that woman. Jesus sees sin as not just sin of the flesh, so what you do, what your actions are. He looks at the heart. He sees what is in the heart of the person that causes them to sin.
My family's Christian,
so,
I know.
I know. So the point I'm trying to make is men also desire loyalty from a woman. Loyalty in mind, in body, in soul. And God commands this of women as well. For women who are Christians, you are to be loyal. You are to be loyal to God. You're supposed to obey his commands. All of these things. But as a man, I want my woman to be loyal. And if she's putting pictures of herself out there, giving herself to every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, I don't want that. No Christian man will want that. No Christian man who takes the Bible serious and takes the Lord seriously is going to want that.
I take the Lord seriously and...
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do, maybe not as serious as...
No, God himself says that if you love me, you will keep my commandments.
But is being against only in the Bible?
Everywhere, yeah. God himself talks about the whore of Babylon.
You will never change my mind in my life.
You probably just haven't researched that much on it, to be honest.
Oh, I'm a little bit more educated than you think.
Let's do it. When does life begin? When does life begin? If you're educated, when does life begin?
I'm an atheist, sorry. I don't talk about...
You just said you're educated on it. So when does life begin? Secular. You don't have to be Christian. When does life begin? You can search it up right now, all you guys. When does life begin scientifically? It says fertilization. I thought you'd know that if you studied this, man. Like, come on.
When you were born, life. Yeah.
When you were born, life. So when I kill, this is very important, guys. If I'm a murderer and I kill a pregnant woman, I get charged with double homicide. But it's when you're born. He just said it's when you're born, though, right? How come? Why is that? It's a good point. I'll change your mind. You're afraid of the truth. You're afraid of the truth because you guys are suppressing the truth and unrighteousness. That's why you guys need Jesus. You're under a demonic spirit. Well, because I love you. I don't want you guys to go to hell. That's fine, man. I don't. Hell's a very real place.
Have you been?
No, I will never go to hell. How would I know? Well, the Bible tells us. I mean,
the Bible tells you everything.
Yeah, a lot of things, yeah. And that's why I'm answering all your questions, and you're getting debunked every single time. Cooked.
Say if I get raped and I get pregnant,
It's a horrible
you want
thing.
me to have the
Absolutely. I don't want you to kill the kid, no.
Why is there a need for you to be a feminist?
I think as women, we are undervalued when it comes to our intelligence.
I would offer to you that there's never been a more remarkable time to be a woman in this society. We are doing better than men. We are graduating at a higher rate than men. That's why I said to you, despite how you're feeling, what are the real world implications that suggest to you that you are somehow beneath men? You might have a personal experience where a man
we can talk about sexual assault everywhere, in the military, in the home.
So are these the things that you're fighting to end sexual assault?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, great. You don't have to be a feminist to fight to end sexual assault.
You don't have-
If you want to be a feminist girl, put it on a t-shirt, wear it, put a hashtag. I'm just telling you, don't unnecessarily put yourself into a corner and to recognize that it has never been a greater time. I would offer it is a way better time in this society to be a woman than it is to be a man.
It's because at the end of the day, when you have a group of people, when the men want it to be about them, they can do that. They can just be stronger, be bigger, be louder, take over, and make it about them. So if you don't purposely carve out shit for women, it doesn't happen, because you would think common sense would tell you that when the Constitution says all men created equal, that they meant humans. But the fact that women have had to fight to get the right to, the gendered laws, there are gendered laws so that women could vote. I think that's a fair one, because we had to gain that right. Same thing with discrimination against credit and getting bank accounts and all that stuff. Some of the gendered laws are there because the men have been standing in our way.
Damn right. So my final thought is, as a woman, we have the right to do whatever we want, and I don't know what really feminists are crying about. We can go get an abortion if we want one. We can go get birth control. We can go work. I can't think of anything we can't do. So to me, feminism is just a lot of crying and whining over nothing.